Good morning. Hold on a second. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I am sending an email to myself, and then we are going to look at it very shortly. So, as you guys are coming in, let us know where you're coming in from. We are getting ready to launch the app, and I could be, I'm blown away. But yeah, let us know where you're coming in from. Good morning, Proud. How are you doing today? I'm sorry I cut our conversation short, but I knew that you would understand 100% once we got it figured out. But yeah, we'll get that. Good morning from Georgia. So yeah, guys, we are launching our app very, very quickly. We are in the process. We have made the payment, and yeah. So how you doing, Sam?
Hi, everybody. Good morning.
So we are. You made the live from Southern California, Sweden.
Yes.
Thor Arvidsson. I have friends over in Sweden, up in Lapland. So,
Welcome.
Welcome. Glad to see this as an international broadcast.
Mm-hmm.
But what we are. Good morning, Donna Sarah. More.
Yeah.
So, guys, I am going to make an announcement, and so I did not share this with a whole lot of people, but I had some people take a look at the demo broadcast or the demo app that we have. That's basically set up and ready for people to just take a look at. I put it out to a couple people, and I got so much positive information. I was just like, holy smokes, we have to do this. Good morning, Massachusetts. Good morning, Amanda. Good morning.
Morning, everybody.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. So we had such positive feedback from the demo app from the few people that we released. A lot of people comment from YouTube, and we don't catch them as soon. Sometimes there's a delay from the time you guys send the message over to the software that we use for streaming. So I apologize if we don't mention you. Hello from Louisiana. But so we had a lot of positives that came in from the people who are using the demo app. And this morning we pulled the trigger on it. I was given a time schedule of 24 hours before it will be available for people to download on iOS and Android. And Sam can tell you a little bit of how amazing it is.
It looks good, and it looks it has a very familiar setup. When you go on there, especially you YouTubers, you go on there and it's going to be like riding a bicycle. It is easy to use. Everything is laid out beautifully. And it looks good. It looks really, really good.
Does anybody know why Massachusetts? We don't have a whole lot of people. We're still growing, so we don't have a whole lot of people from Massachusetts that have jumped on. I think you are our first that has popped on. So,
but Kimberly, we're really glad you're here. We're glad everyone from Massachusetts is here, and our YouTubers, we love you. We just we don't always get. I don't know how many YouTubers are commenting, but from what we can see, from what I can see in our feed, there are very few YouTube comments that pop up on our feed. So if there's a whole lot going on YouTube, for some reason we are not getting a whole lot of it. That doesn't mean we're not discouraging you from using YouTube. We're just apologizing for the fact that we're not seeing a whole lot. We welcome you to use it. We welcome you to use Twitch if you prefer, or whatever the format that you prefer. But we're not ignoring you. We just don't see you. I'm sorry.
We don't see you all the time, or people all the time, and a lot of people come in after the show is over and they comment. So,
Daddy Crab, we actually have another streaming platform that we're gonna be.
We're in the process. So tomorrow, I set a date about a week ago, and when we first started this whole craziness, so 8 days ago, I was banned from YouTube. So I set up another channel and was still able to live stream there, but I really didn't have a whole lot of confidence that I was going to stay on it. Hold on a second, guys. I'm about to sneeze.
God bless you. Do this.
Yeah. But we got banned for 7 days, and I said, you know what, screw it. I'm gonna do something the likes of which we weren't really. I wasn't necessarily at the point where I didn't understand how much it was going to cost, but I understood that somebody needed to do it, and they needed to make something that was so familiar that when people go, they would be, it would just be like riding a bicycle, like Sam said. They could go over there and be like, holy smokes, this is pretty much exactly the same thing as what I was getting through YouTube. So we wanted to make it that familiar with people. Mm-hmm. We integrated a lot of extra stuff in there, including the ability to do Zoom meetings and all that stuff on the platform as well. So people can be invited to these meetings, and it could be a private group, so on and so forth. We tried to think of everything we possibly could have. And yeah, I was very, very interested in making sure that when we did this, we did it in a way that would put YouTube and everywhere else on notice. I appreciate you, Daddy Crab, a lot. What are you hearing about May 1st? So May 1st, 8 days ago, I put out that on May 1st, I am going to be launching our answer to YouTube. I have said we've gotten it set up. We are ready to go. there are still a few things that we are working on, but I don't believe it's going to stop us from launching our platform in a way that this world hasn't seen before. Couple days ago, I was talking about the app. I started putting it in people's hands. Comments started coming back, and hey, this looks just like YouTube. I think it's going to be a hit. And then we had a lovely individual several lovely individuals who donated money, and through the donations, we finalized the purchase of the app, and we will be launching that on the date that we launch our new platform for the whole world. So when people ask, what is May 1st? May 1st is the start of a new tech revolution.
May 1st is Freedom Day.
Anybody that knows people that have streaming audiences all over the place, that wants a place where they have free speech, won't be censored. Yeah, the only thing we ask is people keep the language to a minimum. And of course, there's going to be all the stipulations in regards to nudity and pornography and stuff like that. That's standard across the board. That is required under U.S. federal law. And it actually, if you look across the board, it is actually under the international law that deals with technology and the internet. So we're not outside of that few different things. We're not going to censor people. So if you guys are interested in actually seeing,
That's
boy.
Proud. May 1st is Masks Off Day too. Good. It can be Masks Off and Muzzles Off Day.
Yep. So check out Restored Republic. I will. There's a lot of stuff I have to check out. So I took a screenshot on my phone, and I want to share this with people because I think it's important for people to see what we're doing. So this is a screenshot of the app with content from Fullstream.live in it. You have right up here. You see there's a messenger. The camera, you can upload video, you could search for content, and then you come down to the bottom. You have your home screen, your trending, all the trending videos, the ability to live stream right here, dead center, your subscriptions, and then the playlist. Kimberly, we are going to address that. So bear with me for a few seconds and we will get that addressed. So guys, it's a fairly straightforward app. We want people to understand that you're going to see the same logo that you see behind me. You'll see that as the app icon, and it'll be out there for everybody to download. I want to push it up in the top 10 trending downloads on Android and Apple. Wouldn't that be a blast? Somebody can't get. Hold on a second.
Okay, Nurse Bear, sorry, I just read your email. Thanks so much. That sounds good. We'll get together a little later and nail down a date for that, for the presentation. And it looks good. It looks really good.
I will be excited to see everybody or what that is, and then you guys just give me a heads up. So, okay, so I'm trying to figure out how to get on this, and what's up with Massachusetts? Every one of our politicians are dirty. We have no one to help us. Well, I think you came to the right place.
Mm-hmm.
With what we're doing, guys, quite honestly, this is going to turn into more of a advocacy training, advocating for the different things and how to make our voices heard than anything else. We're going to cover the news, we're going to cover content that nobody else will, but we're also going to cover the other side of the, how would you put it? We're going to cover the differences and make it so people understand politics and how to get involved to take back those power seats.
Mm-hmm.
Because quite honestly, most politicians are corrupt.
Mm-hmm. There is a path to correcting this. It's not necessarily an easy path, but it is a good path. And frankly, it's the Democrat path. And by that, I mean it's the path they took. They started out small. They, for lack of a better term, infiltrated small organizations and then influenced slightly larger and slightly larger. So you start out small. PTA, your local mayorship, your county seats. You run for these offices. Run. Take them over. That's what.
And if you don't feel comfortable running, find somebody who is.
Mm-hmm.
Get them in contact with us. We'll get that going. We want people to run for those power seats. So thank you, Jason. So guys, just for full transparency, Jason's popping in and out and making sure that things are being taken care of when I'm not doing it. So yeah, it helps if I scroll down through the chat, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So,
and these are all good methods.
Yep.
Do away with lobbyists, imposing term limits. These are good methods. But the way to ensure that the new blood is not corrupt is to be the new blood. Sorry, I'm eating. Try not to spit everywhere. Be the new blood. You can ensure that you are not corrupt. Make sure you're electing people you know and people you trust. People who have good judgment and good values.
So, yes, I did call down there to see about bail, and there's a hearing, and if he's remanded, then away he goes. If he's not, then yeah, we will he'll be released, but we don't know when that's going to be. So as soon as we do, we will let people know.
Paula Wicks, glad to have you here.
Yeah. That's, guys, quite honestly, I never in a million years, and I was telling Sam this before we got on. before we got on, I was just telling Sam, I said, I'm shaking because never in a million years, if you would have asked me 4 months ago if I would be streaming, I would have laughed at you. If you would have asked or told me 4 months ago that I was going to be launching a YouTube alternative, I would have laughed at you. If you would have told me 4 months ago that I was going to own my own app, I would have laughed at you. I see and I read each and every single comment message that you guys send. I see all of what you guys put out. I get emails throughout the whole day. And I don't get a chance to answer each and every single one of them. That'd be a full-time job in and of itself. But just remember that it isn't about me. I didn't get on here to become famous. I came on here because I wanted people to understand that there is a difference between a narrative and the truth. The narrative does not constitute as the truth. So,
yep. A lie told 1,000 times is still a lie. And the truth, even if it's never told, is still the truth. These things are not, the truth is not dependent upon your willingness to believe it or their willingness to believe it. It just is.
yeah.
We just have to enable the truth to be heard.
Yeah.
And that's what this is about.
I mean, for me, guys, I didn't start out this way. November 3rd, November 4th, I was disillusioned. I think just like about every single one of us were.
Mm-hmm.
We seen something happen that should have never happened, but it did. And how do we make a path forward? How do we carve our own path? And that was a question that I had to really answer within myself. Because my family's anti-political. My wife, quite honestly, could care less if what I'm doing falls in a hole.
Mm-hmm.
Now she cares because we literally I went for broke. And I did exactly that. I went for broke. So for me, I had to really find myself and find the message that was going to resonate. And political action and dealing with politics and culture is a political move that needed to be made, because we as conservatives have always been terrible in regards to the culture message. We've been beaten up every election cycle. Republicans, you hear this every single election cycle, and I know if anybody pays attention to Sean Hannity, they're going to hear this and they're going to be like, he's parroting Sean Hannity. But Sean Hannity is absolutely 100% correct. Every election, Republicans are painted as racist. We are painted as bigots. We want to throw grandma off the cliff. We want grandma and grandpa to die. Da 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 da. The messaging is designed to demonize conservative commentators and to demonize the conservative party. So when I went into this, I knew that I was going to get hate mail, and I have. I knew that there was going to be somebody who would try to attempt on my life. They have. And guess what? I used at the end of my broadcast every single day the same wording for a very specific reason. You guys are the power that guides this country. If you secede that power to the government, it'll be very hard and very how would you say it? It'll be very difficult to get that power back. And we're starting to find that out. The Democrats knew that. That's why they started in the local PTAs. They went to the city councils and the school boards. Then they went to the state level and then to the federal government. They have literally taken over everything from the ground up. And it started way back when. Republicans have to have a new awakening in the fact that the power seats are what drives this country. Those local elections, the local power structure. You build on that power structure over and over and over. Eventually, guess what? Everything else comes together.
Mm-hmm. Kim Flanagan, you said you can't even get into state meetings. Okay. Can you get into your to your town hall meetings? And I mean your town hall meetings. Get into those. Each town, each county, all these small organizations are available to the public, or they should be.
Yeah. Well, by federal law, any proceeding on a local level, mm-hmm. they are required to be open to the public
mm-hmm.
through some means or another.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, can we display the chat and see the live at the same time on the platform? Yes. We will. We are integrating that today. That will be finished, and when we get all that stuff rolling, StreamYard told me that they are getting ready to integrate, so I will actually be able to integrate straight with. We'll be able to integrate straight with StreamYard, which is a service that I'm using right now to broadcast to all these different platforms. So, yeah, the chat will integrate with this. It'll be great.
And Guy 53, the Paladins operate on the premises that they're in charge of you. That is correct. Our government has forgotten that they are not in charge. The people are in charge. They are public servants, and we call them public servants for a reason. They are there to serve the people, serve our will, not just our best interests. They're there to serve our will. And they have whatever power we give them. Right now, they're exercising power that they have taken. Some of the power, a lot of the power, is power that we have voluntarily given them. We have, over the past 50 years, just handed them the power to do things that they do not inherently have per our Constitution. We need to stop doing that. We need to take that power back. But they will continue to wield whatever power we allow them to wield. You're not going to get them to voluntarily give it up. We will have to take it. And by take it, I mean elect it back away from them. Legislate it back away from them. From the bottom up.
There's a reason that we do what we do. I am not a person who sought fame and fortune. And I saw what happened, and I knew that the time to act was now. It is not something that can just be, we can no longer stay on the sidelines. We have been on the sidelines for far too long. And when we start talking about those sidelines, guess what? It's we the people who put ourselves there.
Mm-hmm.
there is a reason at the very beginning of the Constitution it says we the people. We give the government their power. And if we secede the power that we the people have to the government, we are no more than chattel or cattle. We're sheep. If we continue to allow the government to encroach in on our rights and our freedoms, we are blindly following a leader without any, that's not going to have any recourse because you've given up those rights.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't take back those rights, you don't take back the power seats, then what are we? I know a lot of the demographic has across YouTube and across other platforms has been between 45 and 65 years old. You guys have seen the boomer generation. You've seen what's happened. As those retire, more of these younger politicians take over. And guess what? The younger politicians are worse because of the public school system that they grew up in. They are worse than the boomer generation. And sorry, I don't use that as a way or a negative connotation. I want people to understand that there is a generational gap in which the Conservative Party and the Democrats are in. We have to reverse that, and we have to come closer together in regards to being able to flip-flop people from one party to another and actually be able to have a message that resonates all across the board. So when we talk about the cancel culture, when we talk about all this stuff that's going on, the reason I built this platform, the reason I am working on building a brand new social media platform that's going to compete with Facebook, guys, we have advertisers and everybody that is ready to come in. They want to see this thing explode. They want to see what we can do.
So let's show them.
Exactly. I sat down and I talked to our developer. I've talked to a few different people that are financial experts, and they deal with computer technologies and dealing with this kind of building. And they said, Shane, you need to scale. And that is why we are doing what we're doing. We have a single server right now. However, 45 million people overnight hit this server. We're down for 1 minute. Is it going to happen where there's 100,000 plus users every day live streaming? Is there going to be some lag time if we don't expand? Absolutely. That is why I am in the process of taking on investors to be able to actually build it. And I will never sell a controlling majority of what I do, of what this country or what this company stands for. We are not selling any controlling interest. I want to keep everything 100% censorship free to the extent allowable by law. You're absolutely right. But when you have 100 platforms out there, and I'm actually addressing every platform out there, from Rumble to Brighton 10 to Gab turn on the ability to live stream. If you want something that's synonymous across the board, that's going to compete with YouTube and is going to compete with what we do and the censorship and the technocracy that we live in, if you want to compete on that level, you better be willing to turn on the ability to live stream free of charge for everybody. If you can't do that, take a back seat. Because when we roll this out, live stream here, live stream on our Facebook, we're going to have our Facebook alternative. We're going to have a live stream on YouTube or the Twitter alternative. We are launching a platform across the board to actually go through and hammer each one of these things that is being built by these big tech companies. I'm not taking in a dime. Every dime that I've taken in, we reinvest into the company and build more for what is needed. So, guys, I've seen a whole bunch of people out there creating new platforms, creating all this. We sit down and we look at all these different people out there. How many actual sites are you guys seeing out there that look, feel, and act just like YouTube?
Good morning, Oregon.
Yeah. Guys, we want people to be free of censorship to the extent allowed under the law. I have to say it that way because there is things that cannot be put online without having big warnings for nudity and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I'm not going down that road. We will not accept that kind of stuff on our platform. Full stop.
The censorship that we are not going to participate in, I think, is the censorship of ideas.
Exactly. But I have to go blow my nose, and then I will be right back. So go ahead and take questions.
Yep. Okay. So who wants to ask me something? Everyone needs to share everywhere. I can get the word out about Patriot News. Yes. New alternative. It is a new alternative to Facebook and YouTube. And that's what we wanted. We wanted a platform that would provide a Facebook or YouTube like outlet for people to have the freedom of speech that is denied to them on Facebook and YouTube. And the freedom of speech not necessarily being there's a difference between freedom of speech and the freedom to show your body parts everywhere. That's not the kind of freedom we're talking about. We want the freedom for you to express your political views, your religious views, your social views for everyone, because that is your right as an American. And if we have that right, we should have that ability. Barb loves Alaska. Maybe him losing the stolen election was a blessing. He is seeing us every day. Great Americans fighting now to get our country back, and we won't lose it again. Guaranteed. Maybe. Actually, probably. I just wish it had been... it's taken a little while to get the situation rectified. It's not necessarily a bad thing. But for someone as impatient as I am, it's hard. Let's see. And yes, we have to have some perspective. We have to see the bad in order to know what the good is. I'm going to go back up because I think there were a couple things on here. Look at your local voting precincts, Nurse Bear, and get active. That's correct. So everyone, if you live in a community, you have a local precinct. You have a local voting sphere. That is where you can start. The two ways you can influence that sphere are three ways. You can campaign, you can vote your own vote, and you can run for one of those offices. If it's time to reelect a mayor, you know what? Run for mayor. Why not? And we're all out of work anyway. Run for mayor. Use that platform to then influence other change, influence higher change. As a mayor, you have access to, your mayor is your basic local level. So as a mayor, you've got access to county influence. Once you're done being mayor, run for county commissioner or whatever it is. Just start making your way up. But please, while you do that, remember that we are here to represent a constitution that represents us. That's how you avoid getting sucked into the swamp. But that is what we need to do. That's what the Democrats did. That's how they are where they are. That's how they are presiding over a country that is literally functioning with an unelected leader right now.
Welcome to Fullstream.live.
Mm-hmm.
That is what we are doing. Don't trend on me. That is what we are doing. That is what that platform is about. Music video plays like YouTube. Go check it out. I think you'll be shocked.
Time for Truth, or I'm sorry, Alice Scoots, did you know you said the Back to Blue rally in Columbus, Ohio for tomorrow has been postponed? Did they publish an alternate date? Did they give a date that it's being postponed to, or is it just postponed indefinitely? And wow, that's kind of short term on the postponement. Oh.
Yeah. I think Mayor Wheeler decided he's getting sick of his city burning.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was gonna say, I'm surprised that Antifa is willing to take out that mayor. He's been so very
generous to him.
And generous to them. Yes.
Yeah.
We need a Patriot database so we know who is true. Okay, here's theoretically, yes, don't trend on me. However, I would be hesitant to put my own name in any database of
I think anybody would be hesitant to truly build or put their. You there, Sam? I think we may have lost her. But yeah, I would definitely be hesitant to post anything, name or otherwise, into a database for people to go and really hit. But I'm sending your text real quick. But yeah, so database that works, but the second you start putting stuff together like that, now you're just putting names and people in harm's way if that list was to, or that database was to ever get out. So we really truly don't want to do that. So But oh, there.
I'm sorry, I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, my whole everything froze off and started telling me that I had no internet connection, which is not true.
But
I
guys,
don't even remember what I was saying.
well, I kind of caught on to the thought process that you had going for you, so I just continued it on.
You finished my thought for me? That's great because I don't remember what it was.
Oh, neither do I. So
I've worked
it
six.
was on the databases and how you'd be hesitant to put your name in a database because of compromise or the potential of compromisation.
Yes, I mean all you would basically be doing is handing them the list of the people that need to be taken out.
Yeah, exactly. Love the cup.
Mm-hmm.
I love this one too. Yeah, the left is already doing that. Absolutely, they are. But the thing that I am very
At least make them work for it.
yeah, I'd rather have them working for it because that means they're spending less time out blabbing.
Not only that,
Waiting for your coffee mug and a vaccination sweatshirt.
Not only that, doing that is ethically questionable and borderline illegal, especially when you're talking about doxing people. So allow them, if they're going to do that, to participate in illegal activities so that later on they can be prosecuted for it. Don't hand them, don't do the work for them. If you do the work for them, then they're not liable for it.
Yeah.
Okay. You meant for your reps.
Pop that one up. Yeah, we try to, and if people know people that and have direct connections with people that are able to join and actually start bringing people in, we want that to happen. We want people to start joining the platform, start checking it out. Everything to this point has been 100%. I mean, outside of the donations here and there, everything to this point has been self-funded, and it hasn't been cheap.
About that guy.
But yeah, I know. Let's just put it this way: my wife told me, she said, "You better make this go big, because if it don't, you're going to be missing a wife."
I was gonna say she's fixing to lose you or leave you.
Yeah. So, yeah, we've reached out to Project Veritas, to James O'Keefe. I actually received his personal cell phone number, so yeah, we have reached out to them, and I have a conversation that's going to happen on Monday with Project Veritas Complete, and they are actively taking interest in purchasing an ownership share in what we are doing. So I think it's a good thing. So, I mean, people, I get emails from people, hey, is there a place that we can donate? It's up for everybody if they want to. I'm not going to say, hey, go donate, because quite honestly, all of this is free choice. I'm not going to beg for money. I'm not going to do all that, because I already know where my crap stands. My wife has made it very clear where my crap stands. But we do what we can to make sure everything stays pretty clean and above board. Have we heard back from Tim Ballard? So there's a story that is going to be coming out very, very shortly. And I think I'm going to allow him to break that news before anybody else. Get a clue. I'm not sure what you're talking about, but
A crypto wallet. I never would have thought of that. I don't know why. I like crypto.
I do have a crypto wallet.
I think he means like PNN hold a crypto wallet.
We do.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yep, and Fullstream actually does as well.
Okay.
So
we can send you a little bitty bits of Bitcoin.
I don't really know if you're here to cause troubles, Pickleteen, but I'm about done with it.
Mhm.
Denmark.
Ooh, Winks. I like the way the wheels in your brain turn. Do you see that comment from Winks?
Yeah, that is very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Be nice.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who you are, and I quite honestly have never seen you on my channel before. So if you're here to cause troubles, I'm just gonna ask you politely to leave. If you don't, then we will take care of you. It's just that blunt. So, but yeah. Anyways, I'm not gonna go down that road too much. Jason Warren, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Pigletine, I'm gonna invite you to actually. I see a lot of the comments. Are you joking? You guys been around the block. Okay. What is your take? You know, you're listening to us verbalize how we actually feel about substantial ideas. How do you feel about those ideas? And elaborate on that. Go into detail, not just I like them or I don't like them. Tell us how you feel about affecting change at the local level.
Yep. Because otherwise you look like a troll. Folks checking it out. Awesome. Wish we could see other group chats. Yes, I kind of wish we were able to do that too, but unfortunately with
Okay, Pigletine, why don't you go ahead and elaborate on some of your observations?
Yep.
Start a dialogue. Let's do it. Let's talk about it.
Yeah,
Like without hostility. I'm not.
When you post one-sided, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense.
Mm-hmm. Plus, the little quippy comments they're not communicative. Communicate with us.
Your take is inflation will be so bad. I understand that.
Uh-huh. You know what? We agree.
We agree.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you take care of that? How do you get people office that are going to help take care of that inflationary control?
Mhm.
Or how are we going to do the things that are necessary to keep that under control?
Okay, so Soylent Green is already a reality. And your solution for that is what? Because we're coming up with solutions. We're brainstorming on solutions. We are inviting you to participate in that. Brainstorm on a solution with us.
If you're just going, and this is for me, I don't if you're just objectively observing from the outside and you're not doing anything about it, or you can't do anything about it, guess what? You are part of the problem. That's the whole reason that we do what we do. That is the whole reason we are here. Because at this point, at this juncture in our society, you either stand up or you shut up and go along with the flow.
Mhm.
Because if you're cautiously or you're observing from the outside and you're just, yeah, the dollar's going to collapse, the whole society is going to collapse. There's no hope. There's nothing. Guess what? You're not fixing any problems. You're just commenting on them. And if you're not going to fix problems and you're not going to do those things that are required to fix those problems,
Mhm.
then you don't have a seat at the table.
Yeah. Yeah. So Pigletine, you put out signs. What did the signs say?
So I guess when we started this and we talk when I basically end every day and I say, hey, you have a pen and a microphone, use them. You have the ability to affect change if you take that stand.
Your signs say
Posting signs is one step. Have you ever wrote a letter to the editor?
Mhm.
Have you ever wrote a blog on a web page? Have you ever wrote article or actually supported candidates openly on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, any of that? Are you making your voice heard?
Mhm.
Or are you just posting signs? Because posting signs on a busy street and actually
Shane, I think you're froze up. Um,
I think
I
we
I can hear there. That's better. I can see you. I can hear you. Well, I
are kind of
could.
hit my internet connection.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that they were doing that just a couple minutes ago, weren't they? Yeah, we're back. Okay. So proud. Um, at this point, I'm not really sure what Pigletine's doing. Testing. Another comment says Krug. All right, here we go. Pigletine, if you are, oh yes, Daddy Crab, I do agree. Pigletine, if you are legitimately disenfranchised with the state of the political climate, if you are right leaning and getting sick of what is being produced by using your vote to vote for a Republican candidate and then still getting nothing that would really legitimately qualify as Republican action, then we understand, we sympathize, and we have all been there. This forum is for us to come up with solutions so that we can take actions and actually affect change. We've all been to the point where all we want to do is comment things like this sucks and have y'all been around the block? We've all felt those. We're moving on from that. if you want to comment here, I welcome you to comment solutions. If you don't want to comment or want to run around in your underwear, you can do that, but not here.
When taking the risk, please remember you have to live, shop, work with the people that you are trying to influence. Don't be a bull in the china shop. There is a way to do things tactfully.
Mm-hmm.
If you do it tactfully, your message will be heard a lot better and a lot easier.
Mm-hmm. And I will point out that there are going to be some people who will not receive that you like, who will not receive your message well, and it doesn't matter how tactfully it's presented, and it doesn't matter how reasonable it is. They are not going to, they are happy where they are, and they do not want to change. You can't change those people, and you can't worry about them.
Feeling science is okay. No. What we are advocating for, though, is actual political action and doing the necessary things to take back the power seats and take back control of our government. So sometimes tact doesn't work. No. Trump proved that. Arizona will be revealed. Yep. So, yep. And Kalamazoo, you have a good point. Stand up at your local school boards. Get the mask off for kids. We are doing our best to really hammer that point home. It's a local level that matters. At this point of the game, you want to focus on local politics. You want to get involved in your local. I hear Sam's running for mayor. I'm just teasing her.
Mm-hmm.
But
although we did have a nurse run for mayor in this last election, the incumbent one, but we did have a nurse who is mobilizing and ran for mayor, and I was really proud of her.
See, you already got somebody.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know her, but I was just like, wow, she's a nurse.
Go Sam.
Hmm?
Oh, proud.
What? Go Sam. Y'all, he's
I
am not running for mayor.
She should, but she's not.
She's not. She's not. Here's the thing about me. I work where I work and employed through the company that I'm employed through for a reason. And it is because, as much as, I like that y'all think I'm a really fantastic person, I am innately lazy and I don't want to do more work than I have to. So,
at least you're honest about it.
I'm old enough that I'm good with myself at this point. So I don't want to take on the work of being a mayor at this point. Not only that, but I really do think that in order to be a good and effective mayor, I would need to devote enough time to that process and to that office that it would take away from my ability to be a good and effective nurse. And I don't want to disserve either office. And I do believe that each office, the office of being a nurse or the office of being a mayor, is a full-time job. And I'm not ready for 2 full-time jobs.
Yeah. Somebody asked.
Chat. Oh, Pigletine. I thought you'd been on here a little longer than that.
No, I think they're a new one. But yeah, no, this is so far from leftist, it's not even funny.
Mm-hmm. The only thing leftist about this is when we say bye.
Yeah.
And you can leave. That was mean. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, no, this is definitely not a leftist chat.
Mhm. Jeremy and Lisa Dieter, our food, water, air, soil, and people are poisoned. Our political systems, financial systems, and judicial systems are corrupted. Our media is state-run. Solutions should be aligned with our reality. Sort
And
they should be in the sense that they should be addressing the miscarriage that is our current state of political, judicial, financial, nutritional, economic, everything.
pretty much every state of our lives.
Yeah, but but if you're suggesting that they should be a perpetuation of that, I understand and respect your decision, and I respectfully
That's not what they're
completely
saying.
disagree.
That's not what they're saying.
Okay, good. All right.
Solutions should be aligned with our reality.
Okay.
However, let me put the little clip on the end that will make that an effectual statement. We create our own reality. It's the political process and going through and changing that narrative, changing that culture. That is what is going to affect the change.
Yes, that's true. Anything that has to do with the civilization or the climate of a culture is created by that culture. There are things that we don't create. We don't create the earth. We don't create our genetics. We do to some extent, but I'm not going to go there. The things that we create are our political and cultural, our social climate is a climate that we create and we have created. And that means that we can uncreate it or change it.
The media runs the government. It's not the government running the media. Correct.
Oh, yes, I think you are correct. In fact, but here's the thing. I don't think there's necessarily a huge difference between the two.
Oh, no, there definitely is not. But, yeah, it's a little bit of the dog wagging the tail and the tail wagging the dog. But, guys, 24 hours. 24 hours from now, we are going to be launching the Fullstream.live app. It'll be on iOS and Android. Share this out with everybody that you see, that you hear about. You could download it, click, hit the share button, send it off in text messages. So,
and John HDN, for some crazy reason, the media is also running the culture. Yes, John, the media has hijacked the culture, and it is not remotely willing to give it back. We are having to fight to get our culture back from the media. Don't stop fighting. Right now, the media owns the culture and owns it as in, I am speaking of ownership in the way people were owned 200 years ago. The media owns the culture. We need to take it back. That's my mom calling. I don't think I'm allowed to not take a call from my mom.
We'll see in a few minutes.
Okay.
So, agreed. So much of what we experience is our choice. We can choose freedom. Absolutely. And when we choose freedom, guys, we are choosing to not be shackled by tyranny. We want people to see what we do. We want people to know and understand what we're advocating for. I am not out there to make a huge name, but I want it. If anything comes out of this, I want people to take one thing away out of this whole thing. And what I want people to take away is I want people to take away that you can only be the change that you want to make. Nobody else is going to be that change. If you want things to continue to spiral, guess what? Just allow it to keep spiraling. Eventually it's going to crash and we're going to be in a world of hurt. We're already there. But we haven't the widespread economic deficiencies that have came from the COVID-19 relief bills and the different things. When you start looking at all that, if you're not willing, if you want your reality to be designated by what other people think, that's your prerogative. For me, I don't really care. I had one guy send me a message through YouTube that said, "Dude, you're nothing but a piece of garbage. I don't understand why you keep doing this. You sound like crap. You act like crap." And just like, well, thank you for your commentary, and boom, I got rid of him. So I just don't put up with a whole lot of garbage talk. I get hate mail. I don't care. I'll tell you exactly what I think, and if you don't like it, facts have nothing to do with feelings. But proud,
Linda,
that is absolutely
true. Yeah. Linda, no vaccine for me. Good. Make your choice. Stand by it. And we actually go into a lot of the vaccine stuff on some earlier
some videos that we make sure we don't monetize them, because the second we monetize those videos, they're ripped down.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Smiling at them only works if you take that mask off.
Yep.
So let's do that.
Some people's minds will never change, no matter the proof.
That's correct. That is correct.
It takes 66 days to brainwash a person. Did you know that?
I think you told me that once, but that's the only reason I knew it.
Yeah. So if the media has been painting it as everything was, it's just a big lie, da 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 da, and they've been going at it for over 120 days. 90% of the people out there are pretty much brainwashed.
Yeah.
So I admit that I wore a mask. When you work in an environment that requires you to, I don't know how old you are. I don't know none of that. But when you work in an environment that requires you to, or you lose your job, guess what? You put it on if that's how your family's being fed. You might not agree with it, but that's your income.
You put it on, and then you go about taking steps to make changes to remove that sort of unnecessary mandate.
Now you are getting out of line.
Mm-hmm.
I am at this point, I'm going to tell you, just leave. Because when it's unconstitutional action, I do not support unconstitutional action. But saying that statement alone, nah, that's not how I am. And if you don't know who I am, you might want to figure out who I am.
Mhm. Thanks.
Jeremy and Lisa Dieter, we appreciate you. We only have the ability to do what we do because people show up.
Mhm.
There, I have another one, Jason, who comes on as well when I have an evening broadcast, which we will not have one today.
Okay.
But we are guys, we have a way for people to come in and focus on actual change. So Linda Tiedrick, yeah, I butchered your name, I know. Sorry. Greg Abbott made no mask mandate in Texas. Yeah, but I think I still support Chad Prather for governor over Greg Abbott. And to be honest, if Trump was to announce a run with Kristi Noem, I would wholeheartedly throw my support behind him. I mean, no matter which way it goes, but I think a Trump Noem run would be an absolutely epic ticket.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, well, he also said that there's others.
I think Tennessee on the mask mandate. I think if I recall right, I saw something about Tennessee is number one, they're not continuing any mandates, but I believe I saw something about wording some legislature that would remove the local governance ability to mandate mask use in the state for now, which states are sovereign, cities aren't. So I mean that is constitutional.
What's constitutional?
Having the state be permitted to word legislature that removes individual cities' ability to mandate a mask in that city. That is constitutional, is it not?
If it's done at the state level, yes.
Yes. Yes. So
yeah, I finally got sick of.
thank you so much. I really appreciate
The
that.
app,
But I sent you that little bit a little while ago.
yeah,
I had already.
but will the app be available in the stores by 12 p.m. Eastern time? That is what we have been told. So, Frank, I'm not going to try to pronounce your last name.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that. I know there's quite a few people that watch that are from up there, and they've been commenting. So, no, our thoughts and prayers are with you guys, and hopefully, here soon, I actually have to get really familiar with Canadian laws to help you guys out more too. So
Mm-hmm.
I only wear a mask going into medical places. Most here in Pennsylvania, you have to or can't see doctor, get surgery. Yep.
Mm-hmm. That is, despite any sort of mask mandate, non-mask mandate here in Tennessee, that does remain. In our hospitals, you're required to wear a mask to get in. And the physician's offices do require a mask to get in. Although I guess technically they're private companies, so a private business can they can require that you wear flip-flops, I guess, if they want to, because it's a private company. Although I don't know, that's healthcare is, because part of the Patient's Bill of Rights that we went over the other day, healthcare is a right that everyone is. Emergency healthcare is a right that everyone is entitled to. So I don't know. Legally, that's a gray area. Although, honestly, if you're going into a hospital, I might kind of suggest a mask just because COVID is the least of your worries of what you're going to catch in a hospital. Certainly right now. Plus, that's where all the people who really do actually have COVID and who are shedding a whole lot of it are going to be. So it might be a good idea. I don't know. I will have to do a little more research and think pretty hard on what my stance on that would be, because I haven't bothered yet. App for Microsoft in the future. I think you can cast onto your TV, right?
Yeah, we have Chromecast turned on, so it should open it for everything. But
I agree, Jeremy and Lisa. The U.S.-Canadian alliance is awesome and sorely needed. I absolutely agree. You know, and I think having I think the Canadian population deserves to have a place where they can speak freely as well. I'm not at all, honestly, at all familiar with your Constitution or Magna Carta or whatever it is that whatever document governs your country, but I'm assuming that freedom of speech is a part of that. And if you have that right and that freedom, you should have a forum to use it. So I think that welcome to our site. Let's talk Canadian freedom.
Yeah, well, and as we build out, guys, we are going to continue to add more and more content. I want to get. I'm in South Dakota, and she is in the southeastern part of the United States.
Mm-hmm. And that's about as specific as we're gonna get right now, because I like my job.
Yeah, I'm trying to protect her from losing her job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So.
And Proud Patriot, I did not get COVID. I did not get symptomatic COVID. So if I've ever had it, it's been the kind where you get it and you just don't know about it. I got the COVID vaccine, which is another long story, unfortunately. I have not had any negative effects from the COVID vaccine. So I want to baseline that. But even with that, I do have some regrets over having taken it just on principle, now that I know what it is and what it isn't. But no, I didn't get COVID. So far, I'm still good and healthy. I will say that I do work in a COVID unit. So I'm certainly exposed every day. Because I don't care how good your PPE is, you're going to violate it. You're going to violate your PPE in a 12-hour shift. That's just how that works.
Sorry, I just I got some instructions that I'm trying to figure out. So bear with me for a second. So I just found out that I just have to go in and make a few edits on the app, and it'll be over in the App Store. So
Mhm. Proud. I'm actually taking some steps to have, hopefully, to remedy that situation.
so you're talking about arthritis or arthritic pain.
Mm-hmm.
How's
Yeah,
it going for you?
it's still good. I've still got some every day, possibly
Yeah.
because I don't. One of the things with arthritis is, you do also want to maintain a diet that's low in inflammagens or whatever those are called. That's low in things that trigger an inflammatory process, and I sort of do, although honestly, my diet's a little limited by the fact that it's mostly keto based. And granted, carbs are pretty high um, um, in inflammation triggers, but it's availability of keto or high protein, low carb options when you're talking about being enclosed for 12 hours in a single nursing unit in a hospital where you don't leave to go get lunch. You bring it because whatever's there is what you got as far as options. So I eat a lot of peanuts because you don't have to refrigerate them. And they're filling, they've got some protein, they still have some carbs. So I do have a little bit of inflammation, especially like right after I work. And I've worked 6 of the last 8 days, like 12-hour shifts. So after my big long like stretch of working, I always have just a little inflammation still in my hands. But it's so much better. It's a lot better. A lot better. Like, it doesn't feel like I said for a while there, I was like, I'd wake up in the morning, I'm like, oh God, my hands are breaking. Why do they feel like this? And they don't feel like that in the mornings anymore.
Well, that's a good thing.
Mm. King Me, would I recommend using ivermectin to fight COVID?
Qualified to say.
Yeah, I'm not qualified to say that. I know that ivermectin is one of the therapeutics that they are looking at using to treat COVID, and I know that from what I have read that there are some very promising results with ivermectin in the treatment of COVID. There's an interview or a speech from a physician in Iowa, Shane.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's before the state legislature or something. And it is on. He's presenting at a political meeting, and he is representing the medical community and medical recommendations as far as a couple of things go, and mostly a huge part of that is COVID prevention and COVID treatment. And he gives very, very, very promising or favorable recommendations for things like ivermectin, for things like vitamin D. And he backs that up with research and with logical explanation. And those are things that I do appreciate in a medical presentation. I don't want to know just why your opinion is what your opinion is, because honestly, just because you have a couple really fancy letters behind your name doesn't mean that I trust you or your judgment or your opinion on something. I really do want. I'm fairly smart and I'm fairly well educated. Go ahead and give me the science, because I can actually kind of understand some of those numbers. Don't treat me like I won't know what you're talking about. Give me the science. So, someone who's going to represent themselves as an expert but won't give you the actual science gets very little credibility from me. And this guy gave the science and he gave the rationale, and I appreciated that.
But
And
guys,
his video is on the site somewhere.
yeah,
Hmm.
go check out the site.
Yeah.
And we are running into an hour and a half. I need to go check on some kids and get ready for my day. Guys, we appreciate each and every single one of you guys showing up and jumping on. Tomorrow, we will not have a live until 2 o'clock. So, just so everybody's aware, no live until 2 p.m. Central Standard Time tomorrow. Oh, Pug Flicker, happy birthday.
Yeah. Oh, did I miss something? Happy birthday, Pug Flicker. Well, yay. We're glad you're here. We're glad you were born.
Yeah. But as always, guys,
Proud
yeah,
dimethyl sulfoxate? Really?
what's that?
Proud. There's a recommendation for DMSO, dimethyl sulfoxate, on here. I'm gonna have to look into that and see how that works because it's a solute, right? It's a like a transdermal solute. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
I'll look at that.
Yeah. As always, guys, you have a pen and a microphone. Use it. The silent majority can no longer stay silent. God bless you guys. God bless the United States of America. We will see you guys tomorrow at 2 p.m. And we will cut over to that stream very shortly. So for the Arizona hearing right after this. So you guys have fun.